Hello, Springy back. Quick one, just doing the grill or radiator, oil cooler radiator, oil cooler guard. It was thick, rusty and old paint. I've literally just taken it all off with that. I'm quite surprised. It's all gone. So anyway, usual process. Wheel silver for primer because it etches and primes, and then black satin. My wheel silver's nozzle is blocked, so I have to keep swapping the nozzles over. So yeah, back in a bit with that primed. Oh no, that's a good thick coat of wheel silver on there. It's going to go in and make a brew. Need that to be absolutely dry before I put the black on it, because it will react. The wheel silver is a one coat paint. It primes. You can put it on bare metal, so I'm guessing it's got like acid etch in it. So yes, if you don't have the wheel silver perfectly dry, it reacts with the top coat. So this is good old heater. It's enabling me to do this in the winter, just having that. Excellent. Right, grab a cuppa, come back. Righto, wheel silver dried. I've just given it a coat of satin black. I've been spraying outside. Luckily it's not raining or windy today, so I'm spraying outside and then bringing it in to dry it. So that seems to be working out okay. And with grill stuff, what I do is I hit it, say from the back. What I do is I hold on to one of these, so I've got control. I'll hit it from the back. If you imagine that's in that plane, hit it from all directions twice, and then do the front twice, and come back round and do it again twice, so you're getting all the bits from all the angles because of the little facets on this mesh. Yeah, it's working out all right. When this is dry, these rubbers that cover the attachment points, sort of spring-loaded attachments, the rubbers are a bit old, so I'm going to find out which is the best size of heat shrink. I'm just going to put some heat shrink over the rubbers that are already on there, just to tidy them up. And yeah, so it looks tidy. Right, I'll try again without choking. I'll put them in camera. Yes, while that's drying, the top coat of satin black, while that's drying, good paint actually. It's just paint I got from Amazon. Again, I shall wander off camera. I've been really lazy lately. Instead of going out to the shops and buying things, I just do it on Amazon, because of the Amazon Prime, you get it the next day. I thought I'd try this out, and it's just cheap, and it's been working fine. It's good paint, as good as any other rattle can I've used. So there you go. I'll get some more of that in different colours for stock. It wasn't expensive. It was cheaper than going to Halfords, although I've got a trade account at Halfords. That's why everything in this garage has got Halfords written on it, because I do get good money off. Car parts I tend to get from my local parts supplier, but sort of sundries and general things and batteries, yeah, Halfords, because I've got a trade card and I get good money off. Anyway, if you were wondering about the heater being so close to the job, it's not a problem. Wet spraying, when I worked as a wet sprayer, powder coater, industrial metal pre-treatments person, I ran a spray shop, a powder coating shop, so obviously this is a garage with rattle cans in, so it's completely different. I'm not going to get the sort of finishes we used to achieve when we were in the big professional workshop, which is why if I want a if I want a tank painted or something, I'll take it down to Mark, who is a professional sprayer mate of mine who's got a professional shop. That's that out of the way. Waffle. Where was I? Heater bits, on little bits in here, it's fine. When we used to flash off wet paint at 60 degrees centigrade between coats. And there's no way that heater on that bit of metal is 60 degrees centigrade. It's probably, by the time the metal's warming up, maybe 30 or 40 degrees. But it's enough. So there you go. This wasn't supposed to be waffly, so I'll just show you the end result in a minute. Just for fun, right, this top drawer, which rarely gets used, is all my little techie instrumenty stuff and paperwork for other bits. In here we got colour tune. Hands up at the back who remembers colour tune. That's how I tuned the Escort. Anything with a carburettor, I can cars with carburettors tune with that. Excuse me. That's what we're going to be using in a second. Chain tool, motorcycle chain, or any chain, splitter, riveter thingy. In the absence of a ball peen hammer. Oh my word. Yeah. Chainy, splittingy kit. Small tap and die set, metric. So I'm just wasting time before paint dries. This little geezer, brilliant. This is for measuring. It's a rev measurer. Battery's not in at the moment. There you go. Digital tachometer. You put a bit of silver tape on your crankshaft of your car, and then you point that end at the tape and it tells you what speed the car's doing. So if you've got a car like my Escort, which doesn't have a rev counter, that's how you find out what speed it is. And let's just drop it all on the floor. Because the Escort should run when warm at 850 revs at idle. That's what I tuned it at with the colour tune, which is sticking a spark plug hole, and then as it fires it gives you pretty colours through the mirror bit, and then you adjust the mixture and idle and everything to the particular colour that you like at different revs, which is nice. Okay, this is so old school up here. Some helicoils. That was a Triumph front brake caliper stripped, so helicoiled that. It's so old fashioned, this lot. A timing light. So while I was getting my violet to light blue on idle at 850 revs colour, I was also doing that with a vacuum off of the distributor at 12 degrees before top dead center, using the timing lights. That's such fun. In here is just a digital caliper, vernier, whatever you want to call it. You see, I'm not an engineer. This is actually a really good one. I had one before that was plastic, it was rubbish. This one I think was 10 quid on eBay or Amazon, but it's all made out of metal. Even that piece is billet aluminium. Sorry, it says stainless steel on there. That's aluminium, the rest of it's stainless steel. Excellent. Anyway, the reason we're in here is because we're going to see what temperature, going back to what I was saying about 3 hours ago before I started waffling again. Let's see. This is where it says 130 degrees C and it proves me wrong. Oh well, there you go. Oh, that's fine for me. 36, 38, so about 40 degrees at the piece of work. Yeah, 70 at the heater. Sometimes I have it closer, but I think I'm alright at judging what temperature. As yet, nothing's caught fire and no paint has exploded, but I've been careful. Sometimes I've got it on like the lower setting on the fan when I'm see that's on the lower heat setting. Anyway, that was interesting, Springy. Thanks for that. We really wanted to know all that. See you in a minute. And just so that we're not confused, the digital tachometer measures revolutions per minute, not the speed of the vehicle, in case that wasn't clear when I said it. Right, camera's the wrong way round. Well, I've just given it an extra coat for good luck. I took the masking off of these bits, and these rubber bits actually look okay, and I've just touched in around those bits using the old lollipop stick, or whatever these are. And yeah, something else. Where the hooks go, each time I spray it, I'll move the hooks to a different place so you don't get like a bare patch on the metal. So it's had about 8 different coats at the moment, so these hooks get moved each time. Righty, while we're watching paint dry, just have a look at some of the other bits that are going to be happening soon. But firstly, how much room I've got in my tiny garage. This is 8 foot by 13 foot, which just so happens to be exactly the same size as the most popular scaffold boards. Don't know how that happened. Anyway, these walls are 6 inches thick. I've got insulation slabs and then wood and whatever you call it, drywall, as the Americans say. And anyway, you didn't need to know that. But yeah, now that I've only got one bike in here and there's no luggage, no 6 pieces of luggage, hard luggage, I've actually got enough room. I've got my lawnmower back in from the little silver shed, and me jet wash thing, patio cleaner, not to be used on bikes. Yeah, I've got so much room. It's really just luxury. And obviously this bike not having fairings and luggage on it, it just gives me so much space. So my tiny little garage now feels massive. I can even sit in a chair in the garage. What luxury. So while it's paint drying, I said about I'm going to polish all the chrome, obviously, or the plastic chrome. This exhaust, I don't know if I showed you the exhaust when I first picked it up last week. It was scuffed, gashed, paint on it and everything. It's still a bit the same, but I've just been experimenting with Scotch-Brite, various different grades of sandpaper, Scotch-Brite and WD-40, Autosol, etc. I'm just playing around with it. These aren't a polished shiny finish. They are originally they were a sort of brushed aluminium look. So what I've been concentrating on is getting rid of as many of the scratchy gashes as possible. Dents I can't do anything about, but I literally spent 10-15 minutes on this the other day. So I think a good couple of hours on this at some point, I should be able to get this looking like if I get all my going the same way, my thing going the same way, it should look pretty much how it started plus a few little dents. But there you go, it's age. All of these crusty bits, I am going to have a go at various things. Auto sol, the same, in fact exactly the same process as that I'm going to do on these. I will have to look at some pictures closely. I'm not sure if this originally would have been a polished face or another brushed aluminium type effect. I think it was a brushed effect. Anyway, all that sort of stuff I can play with. It'll never be perfect, but I can't really, he says now, I can't really powder coat them, respray them, because I'd rather have it looking as tidy as I can do it, but still the original finish, if you know what I mean. So not a what do you call it? Not a full restoration, a sympathetic restoration, like I did with the Escort. I can polish the polished parts of the exhaust, no problem. It really isn't in bad condition. Polish the headers, which I've done many times. Clean everything up properly. This is all still dirty and dusty. Think about what we're going to do with the paint. I really would like to keep the original paint, even with its dents and scratches and bits. I feel it'd be cheating to have it resprayed, but you know me, my guy Mark could reproduce this, so it's whether it's cheating or not, I'm not sure. We'll see how it goes. That's about that. I will get that back on here, show you that. Can't get the bike outside at the moment because we're just in the middle or tail end of Storm Dennis this weekend. The 50 mile an hour winds seem to have died down a bit. We've had a lot of rain. So it was Storm Kira last week, Storm Dennis this weekend. Okie dokie. Okay, it's on. I know the light in here's no good, but yeah, you can't really tell. Anyway, it looks clean enough. There's work to do on the actual oil cooler itself, cleaning it and getting the scuff marks off. These little rubber pieces, they had rust inside them, so I had to get all the rust out of them with a little brass brush, and because they wouldn't stick back on again, I used some number plate tape. Whether that's going to work, maybe in hindsight I should have just put black silicone sealant RTV on them. That would have stuck them on, so we might do that. We'll see how we go. Yeah, so that's that. Shame it can't actually see the result because there's no light in here. I've got the light turned on the phone, so I think that looks okay. Yeah, I definitely need to clean the bit behind it, the oil cooler. Yeah, that needs a good soapy water wash and a touch up on the paint, and then you start seeing all the dirt everywhere else. Anyway, that's another little job. It's taken me a couple of hours for something really insignificant, but it did look really horrible with the rust all over it. So there we go. Okay, right, that's done. Don't know how long this video is going to be. Probably really long. Another one of my long waffly things, but anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for all your feedback. Really appreciate it. And I am really enjoying this. It's brilliant. I can do it a bit at a time. Although I've put out, I think, 3 videos on this already. It has been over a period of 9 days, so this hasn't all happened on one day. I don't know if the collage video I did yesterday. It was different. It was just photos of what I was doing. Still not very good at this editing and stuff. I don't actually own a PC. I do own a PC, I'm lying, but it's rubbish. It doesn't work with anything modern. So everything I do for YouTube, I do on my phone. So I'm limited to what editing my little Wii video app lets me do. But I'm learning a few new things on it. I managed to put up the photograph of the Triumph and one of my old Hondas. But then I didn't realise you can only get a maximum of 90 seconds if you want to talk over it, which is probably a good thing with me, because 2 photographs, 3 minutes of me waffling is a lot better than whatever. I bet this is half an hour, this video, just for one silly little grill. So thank you for bearing with me. Thanks for the waffle acceptance, and if you don't like the waffle, I apologise. Peace and love, ride safe. Loving Ruby, really happy with this, great, and I'm loving the space in my garage. I can sit in here, they've got a heater if it's really cold, do little jobs, and it's just luxury. The smallest garage in the world, and I'm looking now, I might paint the walls where I've graffitied everything. I've got the far end, I've got to put a skim of wood or plasterboard, drywall on it just to complete it. I might give the whole place just a coat of paint, because I'm terrible, I write on the walls. So that'll be a job for the future. Need to do a little bit more on the ceiling, where I took out my log burner. I need to take out the chimney and seal that off. So yeah, bits and pieces to do, but it is February the 16th. It's not the weather for doing that sort of stuff. Thank you very much. Peace and love. Hope you've enjoyed it, and see you next time for whatever I do next on Ruby. I've been springy.